queens and Kita Beauty Teas. I'm back with another client video. As y'all see, we're gonna start by cleaning off her face with micellar water. Then I'm taking my Pond's moisturizer, and I only needed a small amount just because, as you can see, my model, which is also my friend, already has beautiful, clear, and glowy skin, so I didn't have to use too much of anything. As y'all can see, she has naturally red hair, so I had to go in with this e.l.f. This is actually an eyeliner, but I used it as a brow pomade. I think it's in the color brownie, and it matched her hair pretty good, if I do say so myself. I didn't really have any type of red pencils, so yeah, I just had to go in with this, and I used it on a small angle brush. As you can see, I do the same technique that I do with my pencils. I always line up the outside first and then fill it in, starting with the tail, and I just gradually build, and then I just like to blend everything out. I wanted her eyebrows to be a little closer together, which is why I ended up lining the front, and then I did some upward strokes, as you can see, to mimic hair, and I did the same thing on the other side after I blended it out. So after blending out her eyebrows, I took these two LA Girl Pro concealers and I used them to clean them up. The lighter shade will be on the bottom and the darker shade will be on the top. I left this process in regular time so y'all can see how slow that I move when I'm lining people's eyebrows up, because I like my lines to be very, very crisp. The shade names for these two concealers will be down below in the description box, but after I get the line that I want, I just blend it down, all the concealer, and then I blend it out using a buffing brush, and I do the same exact thing on the top, just using a shade closer to her skin tone. When doing the top, you want to lay your brush horizontally and drag it very slow to get it as crisp as possible, and then you blend it out. As you can see, I didn't get me doing the tail on this side, but I got me doing it on the other side. I had on this big jacket, so it kept making my ring light, I don't know, it was getting in the way. So now I'm just dragging it like I did the other eye, slowly, and blend it out. As you can see, they on fleek, and they match her hair pretty well. They may be like a shade darker, but I think that's normal. So first palette I'm using is my Nicka Lash palette, and I'm taking these two shades, Bobby and Garnet, and I'm taking Bobby first on this small dense blending brush, and I'm just packing it on, and then I'm gonna blend out the edges using this fluffy blending brush, and I use that same brush to apply the red shade. As you can see, I really built up this red shade because I wanted her eyeshadow to be more red, and it was looking pink, and that's not what I wanted whatsoever. So you're gonna see me build it up, but as you can see, I just pat it on, and then I just blend out the edges, and then I go back in with that darker shade and blend out the edges even more, because I do not like any harsh lines. And we're gonna do the same thing on the other eye. I always blend out the concealer before I apply the eyeshadow, because you don't want it to look creasy. And since I didn't use my e.l.f. camo concealer, it was getting a little creasy, but I could still work with it. So I'm just packing on the eyeshadow like I did the other eye, and then I'm just applying the red. As you can see, you need to apply this much red, a boatload. You need a lot of it. I like my shadows to be pigmented. And then just blend out the edges. And I cut her crease using my e.l.f. camo concealer, and the shade name will be down below. I didn't really care about the eyeshadows bleeding through this concealer, just because I knew that I was going to be using shimmer shades, and they usually cover the lid up pretty well. But if you wanted to use a matte shade, I would recommend that you clean off her lids using micellar water or alcohol or any type of makeup remover first. Anytime I'm doing a cut crease, I always go back in with the edge of the brush and round off my shape a little bit more. This is how I perfect my lines. And once it's to my liking, I just blend everything out using this same buffing brush that I used to blend out her eyebrows. So I took this JD Glow Cosmetics highlighter and these two shades out of the Juvias Zulu Palette, and these are going to be my lid colors. Starting with that highlighter, I'm just packing it on using this e.l.f. concealer brush, and I use that same brush to apply one of the shades out of the Juvias palette. I went from yellow to green, as you can see, and I really had to pack on this green just because I wanted it to be very intense, about the same intensity as the yellow was, and as you can see, it's popping. So I just had to build it up just a little bit. Now I'm going in with that blue shade using the same technique that I used for the other two. I'm just patting it on and building it up as well, really blending it out on the edge. I like to lift up her eyebrows just so I can get all in the crease of her eye. I don't want any spaces. And then I took this dark blue shade out of my Morphe 35B palette and I used it to blend out the edges of her eyeshadow, which made this come together really well. Y'all, I thought of this look off the top of my head. Like, I did not know what I wanted to do when she sat down in my chair. And she's a makeup artist as well, so if you're interested in seeing her work, I will have her Instagram down below in the description box as well as mine. But yeah, I'm just blending out the edges, and now the eyes look like this. And y'all know I had to line her eyes using my favorite eyeliner, which is the e.l.f. Black Liquid Liner. I'm just gonna do a straight line, and then I'm gonna fill it in and blend out the edges like I always do. I think I'm gonna do a separate tutorial of how I do a wing liner, since I do this eyeliner look so much. I need to show y'all how to do a wing liner. But yeah, I just do a straight line, make it a medium size. I didn't do it too thick just because she has small eyes, so I didn't want to turn her into a drag queen or nothing like that. But then just blend out the edges. The eyelashes that I use on her look like this, and right now I'm measuring them to know how much I need to cut off. As you can see, I almost had to cut off half the eyelash. Like, that's how small her eyes are. But now I'm just stamping it on. For the foundation, I used the Fit Me foundation. The shade name will be down below, and I went in with the Juvias Paste Concealer for her highlight. Right now, I'm just applying the foundation. Y'all know I like to go in with a brush first and then go over it with the sponge just to control how much foundation that I put on her face. She really didn't need a lot of foundation because her skin is already like flawless. But this was like a perfect match. Do y'all see like her face and then her neck? Like, it's not a difference. Like, baby, this was a perfect match. But I just went in with the foundation all over her face, lightly tapping. It's sped up right now, so I look like I'm being rough, but I'm not. So I highlighted and contoured off camera, but I used the Wet n Wild contour stick to bronze up her face a little bit. So I'm just blending that out right now, and I'm using the same side of the sponge that I used for her foundation. You just want to lightly pat it out. This was a really nice color on her. It made her look like a little bit more bronze. It brought color back to the skin, which is what I really like to do. So I'm just blending it out, saving the forehead as the last spot. And then I'm just going to blend out her highlight. And you want to use a different side of the beauty blender. And y'all already know I like to blend out the chin, the nose, and the forehead first, and I always save the eyes for last just because I want to set them right away. To set all the highlighted areas, I went in with my Dermablend loose face setting powder. This is in the shade Translucent. And this powder is very fine, so I don't have to use a lot of it. It makes the skin look airbrushed. And this is the only translucent setting powder that doesn't give me flashback. So if you're looking for a translucent powder that doesn't give you flashback, I recommend this one, and a little does go a long way. To set the contour areas, I'm taking these two black Radiance setting powders and I mixed them together, and I went in with this fluffy angle brush and I just set all the areas where I contoured. To clean up where we contoured, I'm taking this Airspun loose face powder, and on the edge of my beauty sponge, I'm just tapping it under where we contoured, and then I'll be blending it out using that same angle brush that I used to bronze up her face. Now I'm contouring her nose, and I'm using the same two shades of the black Radiance pressed powder that I used to set her contour, and I'm taking it on a small brush just so I could get it as sharp as possible. After I do that, I like to go in with my Real Techniques beauty sponge using whatever excess foundation is left on the sponge, and I just blend it out to make it look more natural. Then I will be lining her under eyes using this black gel liner. Most of my clients cry when I'm lining their under eyes, but she did very good on this part. I guess since she's an MUA as well, she's used to it, but she didn't shed a tear, girl. Now I'm going in with that blue shade out of my Morphe 35B palette, and after that I went in with that purple shade from the Spice palette. I think it was in the shade Robbie or Bobby, one of the two. And I like to connect the eyeshadow with the under eye, so that's what I'm doing. And now I'm applying the shimmer shades at the very end of the eye. I applied the yellow shade, and then I put mascara on her bottom lashes because they were very long, and I could not resist her bottom lashes look like individuals. That's how long they are. Now I'm spraying her face with setting spray. I'm going to be spraying it with two different sprays. First, I'm going to fan this one out using these pack of eyelashes because I still haven't found my bougie girl fan. And I'm going to be spraying it with a different setting spray. As y'all know, I like to drench the face down. We do not do casket ready faces over here. And now I'm about to highlight before it dries all the way. I highlighted using my Anastasia Beverly Hills Glow Kit in the color Sun Dipped. I mixed the two lighter shades in the palette together, and I just brushed it on her face using a blending brush. And I took the smaller brush to highlight her nose, and I blended it out using that same blending brush. I took the lightest shade out of the highlighting palette, and I used it to highlight the inner corners of her eye using that same small brush I used to highlight her nose. Now I'm just cleaning up the edge of the eyeshadow with a little bit of concealer, and then I'm going to be blending it out with a blending brush. Y'all know I like my eyeshadow to be crisp. Finally, we're going in with the lip. Shade names will be down below. But I'm lining her lips using this brown Nicka K lip liner first. And I like to do a line across the perimeter of the lip and then go in and fill it in a little bit. After I fill in the lip, I like to go in with my liquid lipstick on a disposable, and I just lay it down first and I blend out the edges using that same small brush. I like to blend out the edges before I put the lip gloss on, just so it can already have a seamless effect. Now I'm applying the lip gloss, and I just like to put it all over her lips. Work slowly when you do this so you don't go outside of the line that you created. But I always do the top first and then I fill in the bottom. Since I already sprayed her face twice, I did not have to spray it again after we applied the lip gloss. Now we're about to get into the grand reveal.
Oh my god! Oh my god, this cut crease is bomb. I have never thought of this color combo. Ooh. Girl, this bomb. Oh, it's cute. I can't stop looking.
She really loved the look, and this is the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please like, comment, share, rate, and subscribe, and stay tuned for my next one. Bye bye.